We are in the town of Mui Ne, which is a coastal town north of Saigon. In this clip, we explore the town of Mui Ne, Vietnam.
We've arrived at the red sand dunes in Mui Ne.
From up here are spectacular. We're going to do a little bit more exploring. Let's see what we find. See if I can scale this hill.
On the sand dunes.
We decided to
do a little sand tagging
and draw a heart. These hills are very steep. The sand in itself is a challenge, but also the angle of the hill is a challenge. If you can't make it up, if you can't hike, if you have a hard time walking, it's not recommended for everybody.
And just like that, it goes from red sand to green.
We made it to the top of the red sand dunes. There is nothing like this place. It is very, very peaceful right now. The weather has kept the tourists away. We're the only tourists that are here right now, believe it or not. If you can tell right now, just while being on camera, the sun has come out and already the colors are changing behind us. That shows you the dynamicness of the area that we're on and the sand dunes in itself. After the rain, the sand gets a little matted. Within a couple of minutes, the sand starts blowing. It's pure magic here. That's the only way to describe this place.
Sure is.
Anything else you want to add?
Having such a great time with this guy.
She's lying.
Wow, look at the sun. Oh my goodness, look at how much the scenery has already changed. Just a minute ago it was drizzling on us, and now here we are.
And just like that, the sun came out. Within just a matter of 1 or 2 minutes, the scenery is completely changed up here. And guess what? All the tourists are starting to come out. It's amazing how fast that happens.
Sure is. They're all slowly making their way up the hills and sliding down the mountains, which is one of the fun things to do in this area too.
I decided to wear my Chucks because not only are they taking up space in my luggage, I don't trust the floor here. I want to get my feet cut up.
Well, at the moment, none of that stuff is floating by, thank goodness. But We have a little break in the rain right now. We're going to try to make the most of it.
Who would have thought of setting up vendors on the side of a muddy creek? Pretty genius.
And behind us we have a friend. Hey, big bird.
Ostriches are one of the few birds that can't fly. They have pretty big claws though. One of the things is if they get upset or frazzled, they'll scratch you up. At this ostrich farm, you can pay to ride an ostrich. But we've read that that's animal cruelty, so instead, we've decided to dance with an ostrich.
Approaching the entrance to the ferry stream.
And we're hiking up a red sand dune that's on the ferry stream. There's nobody up here. I can see why. At a 90-degree angle. Not recommended if you can't make it up 90-degree angles. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Going down this hill is a lot more softer and smoother than coming up. Actually, coming up isn't so bad either.
A little steep, but not too bad.
There are a lot of people that haven't walked up here, but of course, once we came up here,
everybody followed suit.
Then look, over here, the sand suddenly changes white. It's pretty crazy. Walking on the edge. Red, white, white, red.
And just like that, the sun's up.
Behind us are hills and mountains of clay. Red clay, white clay. Is white clay porcelain? And now we are going through the Jungle Cruise.
There's a lot of moments where you think you may not get a good picture, but there's plenty of places where you can take that money shot.
People take pictures with that fallen coconut tree, and we get it. It's a fallen coconut tree. With all these cafes behind us, it looks like Jurassic Park.
The ride.
Where we both used to work. Look at us now. Look at us now. Hey! Oh, they're drinking beer up there. Maybe we'll join them pretty soon. It looks like we made it to the climax of our adventure on the ferry stream. We found the ferry stream. Pretty exhilarating, even though the water is red and brownish and yellowish. This concludes our trip to the ferry stream in Mui Ne, Vietnam. It's not for everybody. Walking up here, hiking up here, people do it barefooted. I couldn't, because once you get up to the ferry stream, there are lots of rocks and pebbles, and if you're not careful, it will slice your feet. So how would you rate our visit to the ferry stream?
I really enjoyed it. It was a nice little walk. It's not too intense. There are some rocky parts that are a little bit harder when you're barefoot, but manageable if you do it carefully. The water's nice and cool, comfortable.
But if you are in Mui Ne or are thinking of a place to visit, Mui Ne is one of those places you probably should visit if you are thinking of somewhere tropical and nice and off the beaten path. If this isn't off the beaten path, I don't know what is. All the tourists are disappearing. We got a straggler. These wonderful people invited us to have some lunch with them. The ocean vendors selling scallops, lobsters, shrimp. Here we go. This by far is some of the biggest shrimp we've ever seen. If you can see how big my nose is, this thing is 2 times the size of my nose. Everyone in this group are all around the same age. I'm 45 years old. The gentleman next to me is 50. The gentleman next to him is 45, 46, 40.
44 years old. 44 too.
Vietnamese people know how to party. Everyone is so generous. We're not even sure how we could ever pay this back. This wraps up our trip here to Mui Ne in Vietnam. And to celebrate the end of our trip, we are having a nice cold draft beer here at Dong Vui Bar. And cheers. This place is one of a kind, let me tell you, with all the different restaurants. It is more like a food court, and the area that we're in right now is a craft brewery bar. And Chris is the person to talk to when you're here in Mui Ne. There's nothing else like this place. We haven't seen this many craft beers on draft in any of our travels in Vietnam so far. Check this place out when you are in Mui Ne. You will not be disappointed.